Going live. I think we're on. Cool. We're live. Everyone. Hello. How you doing?
Good evening.
We got Mr. Walter
Or more.
here.
Or
Welcome everybody back to the Alchemy Brothers. It's Eric and myself, Remy, and our good friend Walter. Today, I'm really excited about this episode. We're gonna be talking about how to save Earth, which is a topic kind of like ignored a lot. Well, not ignored, but it's always in the back of people's minds, and they just don't know what to do.
yeah, that's always the first thing, because people kind of think, oh well, I'm just one person. What can I do? You know, and that kind of mentality. That's the mentality that needs to go out the window. First of all, that's like, because we are one individual, but as individuals, we tend to find more in common than we do that we have in difference. And that's what really boggles my mind lately, is that I don't know, just like this whole craziness that's been happening around the world. You know what I mean? Just the crazy, like with COVID and with the ACAB stuff and the leader that we have in the White House and all this fun stuff. So lots of factors, but yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. It is weird. I agree. It makes me feel helpless at times, where I'm just like kind of confused. I was like, man, like I see all this chaos, and I'm just like,
usually so confused, and I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, I don't know. Like the golden rule goes so far, man. Like do unto others as you would have others do unto you, and that goes with, like, I think everything. Just when people say don't shit where you eat too, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that's true, man. Eric?
I kind of view it a different way. It is pretty bad and crazy, don't get me wrong, but I like to kind of view it more as the beginning of the end kind of type of deal. A lot of people are kind of opening their minds a little more now. They're kind of seeing the things they were kind of not seeing, but or I don't know, maybe not paying attention or ignoring it. But it's finally opening. A lot of people are seeing the bad stuff, and honestly, that is good in a way for us as people, just to get together and start changing things.
Definitely, I agree. That was beautiful.
100%.
Yeah. So Eric's gonna be also bringing in, because we've been talking about the chakras. I know you listened to our past podcasts. He's on the third chakra now, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah.
He's gonna be bringing that in as well. And then we're gonna try to align that to our main topic, which is what we can do best to help, save the earth. I mean, it's just, I know it's just us three, but I think our message could definitely reach out many people.
Yes.
And so I'll let you, Eric, take the floor.
All right. So the third chakra is called the solar plexus chakra. The color is yellow. It's kind of located right here in the center, kind of like between like the diaphragm up here, or not diaphragm there, but a little higher than the diaphragm. And there's a few little things you can do about it. If you kind of feel blocked, these might be the kind of several things you might be feeling. It's low self-esteem, lack of self-trust, weak will, poor digestion, over aggressive, that person that needs to be right, bossy, and narrow-minded. Those are just a few little things there that I kind of thought kind of stand out. Kind of more for me, I would say. Sometimes there's times when I do get a little over aggressive, bossy, and sometimes sometimes when you need to get something done, you got to be a little bossy.
Yeah.
But sometimes that could be because your solar plexus is not balanced completely. I found a few little things here that are kind of interesting. something that I've never tried before. It's one way to try to, uh, balance your chakra is this meditation. It's a meditation called Breath of Fire. Pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? And cool thing too is this chakra is actually the element is fire, if you haven't noticed. And it's kind of weird, but I think it's different. It's something I'm gonna kind of try out and get better at it. I'm gonna kind of teach you guys how to do it real quick. So it's kind of the same thing, you sit down or lay down, try to keep your back straight as possible you can. Um, Trying to, align your body and that root chakra that I first touched up on. And you inhale like this. And then you exhale, but you exhale like this. And then you breathe in. You're pretty much like taking small little breaths out and in. And then you probably do that like for like 3 rounds. I'd say like for the first time, do it for like probably like a minute to 3 minutes until you work your way up to, depending on how much you want to do it. The second way of balancing it is taking care of yourself, working out, eating healthy, but not also just those things, but I'm talking about like dressing up. Well, some people don't have to do it. Some people do. Dressing up in a certain way. I'm not like saying like go spend a crap load of money on expensive clothes and crap. Just try to bring out that vibration that you're trying to give out by the clothes you wear, or in a way like kind of put you in that mindset that you're you're aligning yourself to be a better person. um
I always like to say, I've been trying to apply this idea to a lot of people, and I always like to say, you're the reflection of the respect you put into your body. So like the image, yeah, like so even like here for work, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times. I don't work in my pajamas. I'm fortunate to be working from home, but I don't work in my pajamas. I like to dress up where I'm feeling good, because when I feel good, I'm gonna perform well at work. So I like that you just said that, and I felt like that was a good fit for me too.
Honestly, yeah, because you did say that. I think the last video we had, that what you said, you don't stay in your pajamas. You want to feel comfortable, ready to go for the day. One of the things that I like to put on myself is a bracelet. It's like a little simple bracelet here, kind of, meditation bracelet. Just kind of to give me a nudge to be, kind of a reminder to be a better person, to smile at people, have eye contact and smiling at them while we're like walking past each other, tell them how you doing, how's your day. Just that's kind of just a little reminder for me to be a better person. And that bracelet kind of gives me that nudge on, like I see in my arms, like, okay, man, I'm being a shitty person right now, or like this guy cut me off and I'm angry, like that type of stuff. And I look at my wrist and I'm just like, okay, just let it go. Usa.
Usa.
Uh, so that's two. There is a third one, was like focus on the color yellow, because that's the color it represents itself, is yellow. Another thing too, they say is like to eat things that are yellow, bananas, stuff like that, squashes. uh, so that's one of the good things. And four is thinking positive.
Hmm.
Um, Honestly, that is a number one key, and that kind of links up to our subject for today, is how to make this world a better place. Is thinking positive. It starts with you, and that's you're the only one. It's you. You're the one who could do everything. It starts with one person, and then it affects, keeps going like a domino effect. You lead the people you want to lead, and make this a better place. Because honestly, it's not that bad. Not yet. I know a lot of stuff is unfolding, but I honestly feel like it's like I said, the beginning of the end.
I like that.
Yeah, I think people have been trying to find their true selves, and they've been noticing their egos a lot, and I've noticed that you've been saying a lot of well, about your practices, and myself, I practice Zen Buddhism, and I've actually just got back onto my path during the whole COVID situation, and it was pretty rough. I've been on this path for like 10 years, but I went pretty dark, and but that's another that we'll take that on another story. But I went pretty dark, and but now I'm just trying to find the light that I have within myself, and just you know getting back into contact with nature and the God that you have within you, because we are. Like we said, we're a part of God, and if we're created in the God's image, we're a part of God. And it doesn't matter if you believe in God or universe, it's whatever you want to call it. We're all part of the global oneness, if you want to call it that, because there is like, yeah, there is an ultimate reality that everybody wants to share, some type of utopia, but where everybody is happy. There's no suffering, where there's no needs, there's no want, there's no, that's a reality that everybody wants to share. And the intention is good, but right now, but the reality is unfortunately it's not.
Yeah, we're a little bit far from it, but
yeah.
at least now we have a goal.
Mm-hmm. But with the things that have been happening, you get to see a lot of people's true colors come out as well. Like you see who they really are deep down inside. Like I still love people. I just don't like the things that people do sometimes, myself included. I try, and like I said, and like you said, we all try to stay positive, but you also have to accept the negative with the positive, and try and make a better effort. And just if the lesson keeps repeating, it's because you haven't learned. There's something that you got to polish to keep to learn, to learn and evolve and grow. And integrate that part into yourself, as you would into a computer. Integrate a code or something to make something work, make that system work a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm gonna cry. That was good. That was good. No, yeah, I definitely agree. And honestly, like, I know, like, it's human nature to, I think, that we really focus on the negative, because I know that's something that I look into a lot, and I'm just like, man, what can I do? What can I do? And just even with the idea of me trying to like focus on what I can do, I think that kind of has like a little positive like force to it, But I do look at the negative, and that's what drains me a lot too. I forget sometimes too that a lot of people, I have been seeing a lot of positivity come out of all this whole COVID stuff. I was watching like Miley Cyrus one time. She was talking. She had like a live podcast on Instagram, and she was talking that this salon, like hair salon, actually, since the COVID started, that when they closed down, that the worker, instead of firing her people hired, like she like kept them working, but they were making masks, and I thought that was kind of cool. And so I have to kind of, for me as an individual, I need to remember to focus in the positive, because I do get upset with a lot of people and what they do. Like the other day, someone cut me off. I was already on the fast lane. I'm going 80, 85, and this guy just cuts me off, and I flick him off, and I'm just like, and I was like, and I'm listening to a podcast on like positivity. I'm like, so much for that, But I guess I kind of learned to like catch myself. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you have to find in Zen. It's they call it the observer, and you find yourself observing your emotions a lot, and you catch yourself getting angry, and you feel that anger rise, but you can either flow with it and become the anger, or you can just be like, you know what, you can discern and say, you know what, that's not for me. I'm gonna go this route, and be a little bit more empathetic towards maybe this person is having a bad day, and be like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go, you know,
Yeah.
like Frozen, guys, let it go, let it go.
I agree with that. Sometimes your emotion gets the best of you,
Mhm.
and you like you were saying, you just have to visualize that emotion arising from you, and then sometimes it's kind of hard to say no. I know I have been there too before. Like someone cuts you, like it's always when somebody cuts you off, and it's like, you mother, you
Yeah.
know. But that like for me, that one of the instances I don't do it as much anymore. But what I used to love to do when people drive slow is get in front of them and drive even slower, just to piss them off. But I've recently like I've stopped doing that because I was just like, man, like I'm just doing the same thing, like I'm being just like the others. Like,
Yeah. I actually I just recently finished The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz. Um, really beautiful book. I recommend it. And I thought it was the one you were going to be reading, Eric, The Mastery of Love.
no, though honestly, I do want to read the book that you just read right now too. That's in my list to buy, but I'm holding myself from buying any books until I'm done reading like maybe 3 that I have right now.
Oh,
I'm almost,
I know what you mean.
I'm really bad. I honestly have a little desk by my couch. I sold my TV, or I gave my TV to my brother recently, and I sold my PS4 a while back. And I just have a desk with a bunch of books on there, and I'm trying to knock out like a chapter each book, and I'm just like, damn, dude, like I got these many books, and it kind of like overwhelming. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm already halfway through each one, so I'm just gonna go through it. But audiobooks, I just listen to audiobooks whenever I'm driving or like I go on my hikes, so it's nice. But yeah, the mastery itself, he really talks about. I think you said the observer. Um,
mm,
yeah, Walter, I think you said it was the observer. And
Right.
yeah, he kind of talks about that. He starts it off with like, imagine like you're at a party and everyone's drunk in the party and you're the only one that's sober. That's how he starts it off, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sounds like a little boring, but at the same time, he's like, but people right now, like being drunk in his story was like people focusing on like what's not good, on the negative stuff, on like he wants to fight,
Yeah.
all this stuff, and you're the only one that's actually at one with yourself and at one with the world, and I was like, that's actually kind of beautiful, and I think people right now, with that idea, they are kind of drunk because they don't wanna, I guess, be sober because they feel like no one else is gonna be sober, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest thing is for people to give things up like that. But honestly, it's pretty. I can say that now because I'm 26 weeks sober. Thank you very much.
oh,
No autographs.
crazy.
But yeah, man, it's been a blessing because like if, through everything that I've been researching and reflecting on and meditating, and it's just I even tried like doing the non-alcoholic stuff, and it's just like it just lowers my vibrations so hard, and I don't like the feeling of drinking anymore. So that's completely out for me. And that's a good thing. So that's honestly a curse, and I guess because everyone drinks, and I noticed that like everyone drinks. Like I'm around my parents a lot, and they drink a beer. Like my dad drinks a beer like every like once a day. He's getting older, and everyone's having. But the weekends come around, maybe we'll have 2 or 3. And I see people's stories on Facebook and on Instagram, and it's just kind of like they're doing all this stuff as well, and I'm just like, wow, that's pretty toxic, and I think that's the one thing that people don't realize is that they are basically poisoning their bodies by doing that. But I mean, it's always a choice, and like I said, it's I've discerned for myself that it's not for me. So I'm not dogging on anybody if they do drink, more power to you if you can control yourself. But I just know that I can control myself, but one day I will drink again. Don't worry, I will be able to enjoy spirits, but at this point I'm just like, what for,
Yeah. I could kind of relate on
Like
that. I could kind of relate because I would drink a lot, but it was just this one time I just kind of told myself like, this is not fun anymore. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Like I still drink beer here now and then, like every once in a while. I could actually catch myself when I start actually enjoying it a little too much now. That's a good thing, kind of like exerting my, I guess, I don't know, my inner borracho, whatever. Um, I just
Internecine.
start, it just like, I don't know, I just get this feeling. I'm like, damn, man, this really hits good. And that's when I'm like, you know what? This is my last one. I'm done with this one.
And Zen, I guess it's more like a middle path. And I stopped doing the middle path because there's different paths that you can take. And the middle path is just like you're doing things in moderation. Like it's like I can have a drink, I can eat this much, or I can do this if I do, and everything in moderation. And that's with everything, But yeah, like you said, everybody's different. Everybody's
Yeah.
different.
It took, honestly, it took me a while to get myself to that that state that I could actually tell myself no, like, okay, you're enough. I'm cutting you off. I'm done.
Mm.
It's been I have honestly have not counted,
Yeah, it's
but
like beer gonna taste really? Is this fifth beer gonna taste as good as that first beer? Probably not, because I'm already toasty.
uh, but yeah, that's one thing. Exerting yourself is a great way of trying to like bring that inner peace. You could kind of feel that S of yourself too, not just like the bad emotions. You can actually see the good emotions as well too, and it's a good way of like paying attention to that and seeing how you manifest that out, what triggers it, so you can focus more on that. Um, so with like the whole thing with like the world that I'm seeing, that a lot of people are seeing that now. Not everyone, but a good amount now are kind of seeing that, like, you know what, like it is bad, but there is some good in there. We're connecting still. We're still being socializing like in different ways, but like we're trying to make this a better situation for ourselves.
Mhm. Definitely. Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree. I mean, I only drink casually, socially, with family or like friends. I don't like getting like drunk. Like my cousins are always like, "Hey, let's go out to a bar," and I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna go home and draw, or I'm gonna go home and read." And
That's
like who does that? Who goes home and who says that? Who goes home and draws? Like I was like, well, I mean, I do, so that's what I'm gonna go do. I'd rather put
yeah,
creativity
they ask,
somewhere instead of just boggling my brain up with nothing nonsense.
Yeah, like every once in a while it's good, occasionally to wind down a little, but like don't let it make it into a habit. um you want good habits in
definitely good.
life, not bad ones.
Hmm. Like, and the whole, and even like you said, just putting good stuff into your body, like, and you'll get good stuff out of it. Like I said, I quit drinking for 26 weeks already, and I've been meditating and doing lots of yoga, the exercise and meditation, and also just doing nutrients, like because like the macronutrients and micronutrients, just thinking about like my gut in general, and what are the things that I'm going to be doing that day, and consuming the right amount of calories that I'm going to be expending, or just being really really in tune with my body, but basically. And then I think when you're in tune with that, you'll find yourself in tune with a lot more things around the world, and they're pretty much the same thing. I work at the airport, and that's how I met Remy. Actually, we worked at the airport together, and I think my body is like a plane. It needs maintenance, just like a bird needs maintenance, an airplane needs maintenance. I need maintenance, and it could be physical maintenance and even spiritual maintenance. We got to do a lot of inner reflection as well, to bring that, like you said, bring out what's on the inside, bring it out, whether it be through like a piece of jewelry, or which I went crazy with on Wish at the beginning of COVID. Don't ask me why. I just went crazy. I saw a bunch of Dark Souls rings on Wish, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna
That's
do
cool.
It's fun game.
But yeah, you so just be positive, and if you're shiny on the outside and the inside, maybe be a little shiny on the outside for yourself, but not for anybody else.
And for
If
yourself.
somebody's jealous, they're envious. They got something. That's their karma, man. They got something.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, and I agree with all that. During COVID, like during the peak of it, I came to a point where I kind of did get a little scared. I was really fortunate. I always stock up on things. Always stocked up on the main source that was going out quick. I've always had a lot of toilet paper. I've always been that person. My mom always taught us to, like, she's like, you better just always have a lot of toilet paper. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, always have a clean booty.
So I was very fortunate to be stocked up on food and clothes and everything. So when, like, during the whole peak of it for like a month, like, I didn't need anything, and there was just little times where I would go to the supermarket and just get little things here and there, because I mean, I had enough food and I had enough things. But there was a point where I did get a little scared. I lost my train of thought. And instead of jewelry, I bought more books. I was just buying books, and one of the books I did end up buying was the Bible. um I have one, but it's back home with my parents, and I never had one here. So I was just like, I'm gonna get a Bible. So I bought the Bible, and I've been reading it here and there. And a lot of the things that the Bible does say, it and I'm not one to really, like, title myself as religion. I do believe in God, and I believe in the higher being. And the other day, Eric actually said something. He's like, God is the earth, you know? And I was like, whoa, that just makes complete sense. Like, because, we grew from the earth just like everything around us. So, like, when he told me that, like, in the Bible, it says, God created man from clay. So, like, in a sense, it kind of, like, it put itself together for me. This is how I visualize it. If you want to believe in God as a higher being, as, like, some man in space, like, by all means, but when Eric told me that, like, it just flashed back to my mind with that, and I was like, you know what, like, that just made more sense to me than anything has ever. So, like, if God is the world, like, what can I do, to start protecting what the source of life that's, what's supposed to be our heaven, our
Yeah.
Right. And I think there's, if you guys ever seen this movie, Kingdom of Heaven, there's that saying above his blacksmith's door, and it says, "What man is a man who does not make the world a better place?" And I think that's pretty much with what goes with the topic of what we're going with today, as far as, like, saving the planet and saving the world, and saving each other. We got to help each other along the way in order to make things happen as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of the books that I have been reading, they in the way they say, they're always pointing back to you. Like, it's always you. It's always gonna be you in this world. It's no one else that's gonna live your life. It's always you. Like, all the books I have read, like The Alchemist, it's always about that one boy, like, and his idea. This is what he's doing. What is he gonna do to help? And, and The Alchemist, he helps the jeweler. He helps the gypsy who, like, eventually, I'm assuming he's gonna go back and give her the treasure that he found, because she said she wanted 10% of it, and and people just help each other in that book. Another book, The Richest Man of Babylon, they just educate each other on how to help each other, how to grow as a city. And, and I could just keep, like, pointing from different books, saying, like, how it's always, the main topic is that person in the story, which you're supposed to put yourself in the story. or a book that you read, so that it's like you can visualize as yourself in it.
Fit that archetype.
What was that?
That you can, so that way you can fit that archetype of like the hero, you know, where the hero goes in. I have a buddy who does who's writing a book right now, and he studied it's like the mythos of how to build a story, and the mythos of the hero is like he's on a mission to go and find the elixir or the truth or whatever it is, and it's not even for himself. It's he brings it back to the people, and Beethoven said that the point of this life is to get as close to godliness and then come back and disseminate it amongst the people. You know, so you get that God knowledge, and you help people attain that as well. You know, you help them grow and you know get out of this wheel of samsara, as the Hindus call it as well.
That's really beautiful. I honestly agree with that. Like, you try to become a better person, and then you try to reflect that on other people so they can catch on and do the same thing. It always starts off with that one person.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like that is our mission as human beings for this world, is to get into that godly state, come back down, and then try to spread it by love, by helping others, by whenever they're down, whenever they're feeling sad, always be there. You see somebody at work that's, you know, you can totally tell they're in a funky mode. Tell them, like, hey, dude, what's up? What's wrong?
Yeah, or not even
They
that. Just
open
like
up.
yeah, or what do they say in Rick and Morty? I'm here if you need to talk.
Yeah,
The
dude,
planet of
honestly.
women, and that is get in touch with your feminine side. That people are always just judging themselves as like, oh no, that's so gay of me, or that's not really a thing. Yeah, it is, dude. That's a part of you. Like that, if you thought that, that's really a part of you that people haven't really explored. And it's not that it's homosexual. It's just, you know, it's that yin and that yang. You know, that's the sun and the moon, the gold and silver, and the you know, all that stuff. And you have to be in touch with all of that within you, and it's an integration. Like I said, it's an integration of things.
Yeah. That, bro, God, I'm so happy he's on here.
Yeah, seriously, dude. That's some good stuff.
No,
No, but yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I've done a lot of reflecting these last 6 months, and it's been a really good trip. It's like I don't know if anybody's been on psychedelics before, but it's like that. Like I can do it like that. That's what it feels like. And honestly, whenever I have a bad trip in life, it's because I have anxiety, or you know, I'm thinking about, I'm quantifying all these things in my mind of, oh, this could happen or that could happen, this and that, and I'm not in the state of flow anymore. Like I'm quantum, you know, I'm not here.
Yeah.
I am not present.
You're not present. You're not present in the now. You're focusing on then. And
yeah, then and then what do they say in Spaceballs? When will then be now? Soon.
Damn, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
And when you think about it, as I'm older, I'm 36, and I've seen that movie since I was maybe, I want to say 7, and I've watched that movie so many times, and now everything just makes sense. You know, it's all come full circle. Thank you, God.
He does have a sense of humor.
Yeah, really, and just like we do, you know.
Yeah.
I always like to picture my dad with a sense of humor. I'm funny
Yeah, I get it from him.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's and I think it's good that you know, we could laugh about this stuff and just, you know, really practice it. because, and especially like I guess how he said the feminine side. I've never really seen it as a feminine side. I've seen it more as my mom within me. I guess.
Well,
'Cause- yeah, I guess, yeah.
that first circle,
But
man.
it's the love that my mom put into me, and my dad. I'm like a stern person when I need to be, and that's just like my dad within me. It's just everything they've applied into my mind, everything they've done for me. Like my dad's a landscaper, and he's always taught me how to like care for a tree and how to like plant it and all this stuff. And he always was telling me growing up, he's like, if I knew how to read, I'd be a millionaire. And he's just planting this tree right there. And in my head, I'm just like, whatever, dude, you're just planting a tree. But in his mind, he was planting an idea into my head. Like, dude, you should read more. You know, and yeah, because my dad came to the United States when he was like about 16 years old. And I just can't imagine doing that at 16 years old, dude. I was like sitting in my boxer playing PlayStation at 16 years old, not knowing how to really work, barely caring about school and all this stuff. And my dad, like at that age, was already way more mature, probably more mature than I am right now at that age. And it was just to work, and it was just to provide a better life, not for himself, but for his kids. And I think as individuals, it's just we have to do the same, but not just focus on our main focus should be our family. But like if we could put that and just like into our families so that they could then just create a better world. I guess how the Native Americans always wanted to do was always caring for the world. They like the way of life they would do. They care about the land, which would reflect to their kids. Like in the way I see it, they like you are the land, so just care for it. Tender it. Water the plants. Do this, do that, and it's always going to provide you with more. As with your mind. I kind of
Totally, yeah.
No,
You have to cultivate the land and cultivate your mind. Totally, I get it.
and the nutrients is knowledge from a book. That's the only way you could really, water and seed inside your brain the right idea of trying to be a better person.
And not
Even
a
like
book, but
seeing
knowledge
from your mistakes.
among each other, like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Just from because think about how it used to be back in the day. Everything there was no written word. It was all by word of mouth, and that's why they say when they say the word of God, it was all spoken word. That's what they mean by it was the word of God, because it wasn't written down yet. It was the word. It was spoken word. It's crazy.
I don't know how to pick off of that.
Yeah, anyway, that was just a little spin off of
Bro.
like how everyone's just like disseminating information amongst each other, and you can take it upon yourself to either integrate it with your thoughts or not. Say this is for me or
what? Yeah. I mean, and I guess that kind of goes off with too. I don't know if I'm going off topic. Steer me back into it if I am, but like I read somewhere that people don't really care about. I feel like I'm going off topic.
Just spit it out. Just say it.
Say it anyway.
That people don't care about what's going on in the West Coast because it doesn't align
Affect.
with their way of life. But
Well, kind of the way Donald Trump, like the way he was talking about California. It's like, well, it's going to be winter soon, so it's going to be cold. Like, no, this thing's happening. Like, it's getting hotter, dude. Like, you got to focus it now, like, instead of thinking like, well, we'll fix it later. It's no, that we have to decide it now.
Yeah. And that's a thing that I'm not one to really get into politics. I don't like, honestly, I'm not upset with Trump being president. I'm more baffled that he's president.
I was astonished. I was like, really?
I was like, wow,
How the electoral was rigged.
that just shows you But like the thing I don't like how he talks, dude. He's very negative, and his words are very powering. Kind of like
It's his sleep, man. He's the most asleep person I've ever seen in this world. Like, oh man. And then Kanye follows him and Kanye and says that I don't know, man. I don't want to get into that whole like Kanye Trump woke stuff. It's if you woke, you know.
yeah, no, and I agree, and I'm not trying to get too much into it either.
or
But
uh,
it's just like his way of speaking, Trump's way of speaking, just is not what we need right now. You know, it's more. It's I feel like we need more something more like a Mother Teresa, more like a JFK. You know, someone that's gonna empower us, someone that's gonna just stand up and just like open your eyes, people. Like, look what's going on right now, because it's gonna affect your future if you don't do focus
I
on.
mean, people do kind of know, they know it in the back of their minds. They know what's happening and what's going on. And, but at the same time, they, like I said, they feel like they don't have the power to do things. They don't call their senators. They don't call their city representatives. They don't do the things that they know that they can do and have the power to do. And I'm guilty of one of those people because I used to be one of those people that just wasn't active at all. Like I was not I considered myself an activist, but I didn't really do much of anything other than just like talk about things, you know. I wasn't really inside of I wasn't in the movement of, you know, doing things for my city or doing things for my community. And even in this times of COVID, like doing things online, signing a petition to do something, you know, it doesn't take that long. It's just like you said, it takes it's got to start from within. You know, you got to start from, if you want to see the change, you got to be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
It sounds
Beautifully said.
basic. It is what it is.
Don't be so hard on yourself. That was good.
No,
Uh,
it's not. But it's like you hear it all the time, and people just and that's why I say people just hear it all the time, but it's just they flick it off like it's just another day, you know. Like but we got to think about our kids and then their kids and then the next generation, because like yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we've discovered, but there was not a lot of humanity that went into discovering these things. Like Einstein said, our technology has surpassed our humanity, and one day it should be opposite, you know. And and I think about like the guy that created plastic, you know, who knew like in the 60s plastic was like such a big boom, and now look at us 40 years later with a giant island of trash floating in the ocean, and that's our fault, you know, because we didn't do the research. We were just like, here's this product, it's new, it's fast, it's easy, we can make it all the time, but what's the long term, you know? What happens to all this plastic? It ends up in our oceans, it ends up in our water systems, and we're drinking that. Honestly, like there's so much you can do to filter out these things, but we're drinking it, you know, and it's poisoning us, and that's why people are getting cancer, people are getting sick, because we're doing it to ourselves.
yeah. Honestly, that's funny because it's kind of a different topic, but kind of the same thing. Like at my job, because I work at a retirement home as a cook, we have this new thing we started. We have a green bin for food, and then we have a blue bin for plastic, and then we have just the regular black one for just, you know, whatever. But the thing is that what pisses me off is the fact that they didn't sit down and tell us like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Every time I pass by the trash cans, everything is like, there's so much like plastic in the food bins. And I was like, you do realize that it's going to go to an animal's going to eat it, and we eat animals.
Yeah.
We're giving ourselves cancer because those animals are eating that plastic and we're eating them. Like, I was like, dude, do you not see that? Like, come on.
Yeah. And it all goes back to like, and I'm sorry, it's a little on topic, and it's capitalism too. It's our way of, it's our Western mind of thinking of like of buying all these things, but then we don't think of where they come from. You know, you don't think, we just do. You know, we don't think of ultimately where they come from. You know, we don't want to know. Ignorance is totally bliss, you know, and that's cool if you want to live your life that way. That's just not the way for me, you know. I'm not gonna judge nobody.
Well,
You be you, homie.
we need to change that though, because that's ultimately what's killing us. In
Yeah.
the end, it's like our ignorance.
And but nobody wants to change because nobody likes being told what to do, even though they know it's good for them. They're just like, no, you will not tell me what to do.
I think it's
Because
that
we're like,
they want to
it's that
have that end
they're just
goal
like,
to already happen. You know, like
Yeah.
they're in their head, they're
right.
like, okay, well, I want world peace, but they don't really see the process going to world peace. They already see the ending. They're like, okay, this is what we want to do. It's like, no, that's what we want to
Yeah,
be at, but we got to focus on the now and work our way over there.
exactly. And like it's a paradox, to be honest, it's that we live in. If like they say, if you want peace, you have to be prepared for war. And that's the paradox, you know.
But in the same thing too, in the book The Secret and the way Mother Teresa lived, I don't know if any of you have read The Secret, but they quote Mother Teresa. She says, "I would never go to a war. What is it? Like a end the war rally, you know?" Because all the energy, like the people are putting, like, oh, end this war is going to like all the energy is going to war, you know. All the energy people are implementing are it's just going to go to war. But Mother Teresa said, I will never join one of those rallies, but if you ever hold like a peace rally, invite me, I'll go. And that's something I think we have to do, is just focus more
and
on peace
and
rallies.
it's funny to say that, and it's just it's the verbiage that we use, and it's our minds that like, it's, we get lost in the words, and so, and the connotations. So if you use, and it's funny because like like because of this, like people are easily manipulated, you know. You either lead or you're led astray. And you got to be able to lead yourself so you can lead others, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And by doing, and like you said, I always go back to like to starting with within, and putting all that good out there in the world, and hopefully, you know, you'll put enough out there and people will start catching on. That's the thing, is and you'll pay it forward somehow. Your karma will be, you make good karma for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal, honestly. I've been telling myself, I was like, man, I am the change in the world. I tell myself, because I like to do a little, you know, ritual before I wake up every morning, or when I wake up, and when before I go to bed, I like to like tell myself in the mirror, say, hey man, good job, you had a really great day, kind of thing. And I just started saying, you know, I am the change of the world. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna do this. I am, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel like that word right there, I am, is just a great reflection. It's something that Eric and I have been learning. You know, we've been sending each other messages on Instagram. And it's just like, I am, you know, strong. I am this. I am this. And it says, whatever you put after I am, your mind, and your body is gonna become. You know, so they said, and it said, stop putting, you know, like negative words in there, because then your mind's gonna get drained because of that. Your body's gonna get drained, and it's just, that's what you're gonna end up putting out there, is negative, because you're saying negative to yourself. So that's something I started doing, and I'm trying to like focus on myself too. One thing that I sent to a friend of mine, because she wants to be an Olympian. And I was like, well, right now that idea is, and she's in high school, is her friend's daughter. Her mom asked me to train her because I used to run track and field. So her daughter, she comes up, she like calls me, and she said, hey man, what can I do for this? What can I do for that? So she's one of the like people I'm trying to like implement really good ideas to, so that she could like become like that change. So if I could like, implement ideas into her, and then she could like start projecting that to other people, it's just gonna have that ripple effect. So that's one of the things I'm doing. But I sent her today. I was like, right now that you're saying I will become an Olympian, right now that you're training it, why don't just start saying I am an Olympian, instead of saying I will become an Olympian, start saying I am an Olympian.
That's really
Yeah. And another thing too, I was like, right now, like you're in high school, like totally great. Like if you want to be a doctor in the future, just right now focus on I will be a doctor. I will be a doctor until you get to college and saying I am a doctor. I am a doctor.
Yeah, you practice that manifestation. You put it out in the world, and it'll come back to you. And then you also have to practice. You got to practice what you preach, because you can't just say like, "I want to be a doctor," and not do the stuff to be a doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I think, and you're on a good track right there that you're talking about, and about your daily affirmations, and also what I practice. I find in my practice is also being thankful for everything, having an attitude of gratitude, just being thankful for the things that you have, and even thankful for the things that you don't have. That's, people always don't give themselves credit for the things that they don't have anymore in their life. Like I'm like I said, I'm thankful for that I don't have this drinking problem. Like I don't have to satisfy myself. I don't have to numb myself with drinking. I actually experience these things. I would rather experience these things and then numb myself to these things, because that's not living, man. You're not living your life if you're numb to the world, and you're not helping yourself, and you're not helping anybody when you're doing that. And also, like I said, just being being thankful for the things that you do have. Being thankful for your health, being thankful for the job, even if it's a shitty job. Not everybody's got a job right now, homie. Just being thankful and being positive, and taking the negative with positive, and reflecting and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I actually, I'm really happy that you brought the being thankful up, because today I wasn't gonna go to church. I woke up and it was like 8:30 when I woke up, and I was like, I'm gonna set my alarm for like 15 more minutes. I eventually got up at like 9:15 ish, and then I was like, man, I'm not gonna go to church today. I showered and I was like, whatever, I'll go to church. And I went to church, but not with like the attitude of looking forward to church. I was just like, yeah, I'll go. And one of the classes, I sit down and I listen to the preaching, and then like for a while, and then I like take pictures for the church. I'm like a volunteer to take pictures for the church. So I guess in a way I kind of like decided to do that so I wouldn't have to sit through the whole mass or the whole service. But even then, like I'm still like receiving a lot from church, and I'm happy. But today I went into one of the classes, like they have like classes for kids, and one of the like the youth preachers, he was talking. He's like, you know what? One thing in life, and he was just talking. He's like, in life, you're gonna go through hard moments, but just always be thankful for like whatever you go through. He's like even me through like my life experience, I've gone through a lot, but I was always thanking God. I was like, hey, thank you for the clothes that I have, thank you for the food. I might not be like where I need to be, but thank you for just being with me and guiding me and just letting me realize that I'm not in a good place. So thank you. So I thought that was really cool that you brought that up, and it was a lesson that I learned today too. It was like, I think I already knew it, but when he was talking like that, I was like, that just hit home, and that was just a reminder to me to always be thankful. And that's something I try to say at night too, before I go to bed, after my, my ritual, like talking to myself in the mirror. I like lay in bed, and the last thing I say is like, man, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you, God. And I just like try to knock out. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and I also try to just not to compare myself to other people, and just not compare other people to each other, because as this was a hard lesson for me to learn, was that we're not, as much as I want to believe that we are all equal, we're not, man. Like, and it sucks. Like, it sucks that we're not all equal. Some have more, some have less. somewhere along the lines of history, somebody said, I want to have more than that guy, and fucked everything up for everybody. And but yeah, and I just don't compare myself to other people, because everybody's situation is different. I don't try to put my beliefs on somebody. I just tell them, my experiences and what worked for me. I just don't tell them, hey, you know what, you should be a Buddhist, or you should go to India, or you should be a Christian. I can't do that anymore. That's if I do that, I realize that's my ego that wants to push something on somebody. And you can't force anything on somebody, because if you force somebody, it's not gonna work. You can lead a horse, as they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah, that's true, and that's something I've been saying a lot too. You could lead a horse, because I'm trying to get my brother to read more, and I'm just like trying to like just put that in his mind. I was like, oh, it sounds like a really good time to read today, doesn't it? And he's like, yeah, it does. And he doesn't. I know he doesn't. But like, as long as I keep banging that idea into his head, I'm gonna stop. I'm like gonna stop now. But now that it's already been planted in his mind plenty of times, you know,
The universe will bring that to him. And he needs to find it in his own way. Like you were saying, like you can't force anybody something. You could say it as many times as you want, but in the end, it's going to be his experience.
Yeah, and that's something my uncle told me today. We had a family dinner, and I was telling him, I was like, man, like uncle, his name is Miguel. I was like, Tio Miguel, like trying to get Jose to read, and he's not. And he's like, well, you know what, mijo, as long as you put the idea already in his mind, it's just he's not ready. I was like, yeah, I guess. I never really thought about it that way. I was like, yeah, you know what, he's probably not. He's like, he has to come to a point like you did. Like, cause you like, and I've told him, I was like, yeah, you might. My experience of like coming back to reading was my car accident, and the first thing I thought was like, shit, man, I haven't finished that book, and that was like one of the things I did after like I got home that day from my car accident. I couldn't sleep at all, and I just started reading, and it's just been great. And he's like, he's like, it's just something like he has to have that moment, like that aha moment, like,
Have
oh,
that wish within himself too. He's like, man, I probably should read more.
yeah.
And probably just take it upon himself, and start like, maybe he'll download Reddit or something.
So yeah, I mean, I'm done with trying to put that out there for him, but now that it is in his little brain, maybe he could just start growing.
I'm sure one of these days you're gonna bump into him and you're gonna go visit, and he's gonna be reading a book, and you're just like, I did that.
But then you gotta stop yourself, because that's your ego.
Yeah, that's true
like,
though.
hey man,
It's true.
you just gotta be like, hey man, I'm glad you're reading that. Is that a good book? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? All right, cool. I should probably. Just be like nonchalant about it. But deep down inside, you're like,
yes.
You have like emoji crying faces, just like, yes, my little birdie is going up.
Yeah, so that's one thing. But I don't know, man. Like I've been telling people right now, I'm just really high on life, and I just been just trying to like spread that positivity. Just the other day, whenever I go on my walks, I like to go on walks every Monday. If I find trash, I'll pick it up. And it just makes me feel good. It like when I see trash in the forest, I pick it up, and I feel good when I pick it up. And like the trail I walk is like 6 miles. I'm carrying that trash with me for 6 miles, dude. Like I'm not, and there's times where I'm like, you know what, I'll just drop it here, and I'm like, no, I can't. Like you already picked it up, you took it like so many miles. Why are you gonna just leave it here? So,
follow through.
Yeah, and and because I don't take anything. I'm in my shorts and like I have my water bottle, and then I have someone else's trash, and I was like, man, I shouldn't be carrying this. But then at the same time, I was like, you know what? Well, if
See
someone's
that difference.
carrying it, if someone sees you carrying it, or even someone sees you pick it up, maybe that's
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what? Maybe if I find something, I'll pick it. I'll pick it up. I'll throw it away
Yeah.
too.
And honestly, I blame the way that we were brought up. It's just our Western mind of thinking of like, oh, somebody else is gonna do it. Like how there's always a job. There's some kind of custodian that's gonna pick up after us, or our mommy and daddy are gonna pick up after us.
Yeah.
Or because I was reading this article the other day about these Japanese schools, and the kids are the ones that clean their schools. There's no janitors whatsoever, so they are the ones that scrub the toilets and sweep the floors and mop the floors. So they have a respect for their school and where they go to learn. They're not like us Westerners. Because I have a friend who went to RIT, and he had a roommate, unfortunately, who was kind of a bastard about these things, and he would leave huge messes, and I'm talking about like human feces and vomit and things, and he would leave, and he would think it was funny, and he would leave it for the janitors. I'm just like, because that was not his job to do it. He thought it was funny, and I think that's the mentality that most people have nowadays. It's like, it's not my job to pick up my own trash. Somebody else is going to do it, especially like if you're and if you've ever worked in the service industry, or if you've ever been on a plane, it's not my job to pick up my trash. Somebody else is going to pick up my trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate mentality that most people have. But like you say, if somebody sees you pick up that piece of trash and throw it away, then more power to them. And if they start doing that, good for them, and good for you, dude, for setting that example.
Yeah. There's
It's
one.
honestly,
Go ahead.
it's you making that difference. Be that difference. Someone's gonna for sure see you, like, pick that up. You're carrying that, and then you throw it away. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do that next time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Honestly, I was a huge litter bug back when I was younger, like high school, junior high. Like, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna die. This earth is somebody else's problem. That
Oh
was my
man.
mentality. I was one of those people, dude. I would like throw trash out the window, try to make them into trash cans, like throwing them like while the car is still driving. I was the worst. But like little by little, I started changing my ways. I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm leaving this for someone else, and I'm giving them a shitty future because of it.
yeah.
So always try to be that difference.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that my family, we're from a town in Mexico where it I'm gonna just brag a little bit here, but it's the third cleanest town in Mexico, of all of Mexico. And the people there just like care for the land. Like you'll walk and you won't see like trash. Like if you go like in the summertime, a lot of outside people like visit because they have a big fair, and then that's when it gets a little trashy. But like if you go right now, like for the rest of the year, like it's clean. The streets are clean. You won't find trash. Kids, like if kids see trash, they'll pick it up and throw it away. Like they imply that mindset to these kids growing up, and I'm really fortunate to like know that my family like roots from there. But yeah, growing up too, like in the States, it was like a conflict for me. I was like, well, he's doing it. Like, why can't I just throw it out? Like, why do I have to walk to the trash when I could just drop it here? But at the same time, it's like my roots, where my family came from. Like, why are you throwing it on the ground? Like, pick it up. Care about the earth, kind of thing. And I was just like, so I had that conflict, and there was times where I would throw it, and I just feel kind of like shame, and I was just like, no, just leave it, and I would walk away and I'd just leave it, and then I'd just think about it later. I was like, man, I should have thrown that away. Like, the trash can's not that far, like,
Yeah.
But no, I think that's really cool, the school in Japan. That would
Yeah.
that would really benefit a lot of kids here, but I really don't see parents like agreeing with it. Parents nowadays are kind of stubborn with it. They're like, why is my kid
Oh,
clean?
yeah,
He's going there.
all their kids are fucking angels. Nah, I don't. I don't
It's like,
think
come
so,
on,
fam.
you were a kid once. Come on, were you an angel? No.
Nope.
And that's the
We
mindset
all
we
bit
need to
of
break from
darkness.
everyone's heads. That we're better than everyone, you know. Um, Especially, and this is something I was trying to tell, you know, my sister-in-law. I was like, you know, you right now you have the power as a kindergarten teacher to like set like the best example to these kids. You know, you have that power to, you know, imply these ideas to, you know, be better people. You know, and I didn't really like specify on what she could do with that. You know, I gave her that topic.
Image.
You know, like, you have that power, so like use it. You know, so I hope she does and kind of like implies other things into their minds. You know, not just schoolwork and something like life related stuff, life related lessons that could help these kids. Cause yeah, they're the future. Um, they're the future of the world. Like, and she like right now they're kids. She has that power to put that mindset into kids. Like I've had really cool teachers that I still keep in touch with, and I mean, ideally
That's
their
cool.
main topic was like to teach me math and stuff, which I hated. But like I wrote a rap song in math class one time, and it was about math work, and I was like, man, all these math equations I don't get. It's kind of like, you know, I was like, all I thinking is about sexy Asians, and and my math teacher's like, she read it. She's like, you know, you're really good at writing, so why don't you just write more? And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not really good at math, but I do enjoy writing. So, and she like put that into my mind, you know, to write. So yeah, I started writing more and practicing with words. So she's
Oh
glad
yeah,
I'm
man.
in touch with her.
Yeah, she influenced you to harness your potential in writing, you know? And and we all have that potential, you know? We just got to put that little bit of effort in. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do these days because they're just like, oh my god, it's so hard, it takes so much time. All those are fucking lame ass excuses because by the time they end up mastering whatever task it is, they're just like, damn, now I'm a pro at like, you know, calligraphy or whatever it is that people picked up this pandemic.
Yeah. And one thing I feel like people should have done during the pandemic to their kids was I feel like a lot of parents were very lenient with the kids, like, yeah, go play video games, I don't care, you know. But they should have kind of like taught them how to like garden. They should have taught them how to clean. They should have taught them all these other stuff. And I'm sure there, you know, there's people that did do that.
And honestly, I think it was mostly the kids because they're sitting there in the house watching all these YouTube videos and they're like, "Whoa, hey, let's go grow a watermelon in the backyard," you know?
But
Hey,
they,
mom. Hey.
yeah, that's something too. Like the kids, they see that they want to do it and they ask, and the parents like, yeah, we'll do it later. You know? Like,
It also depends on the parent too. You're right.
dude, right now, dude, your kids are growing. That's one thing my brother says he regrets because my little brother, he's like 17 now or 16, and he's like, dude, he hit me up, or I was at his house, and he's like, you know, I'm really upset with myself right now, and I was like, why? He's like, you know, because you know, our little brother, he'd always, you know, whenever I get home from work, he'd always like have these science books, and he's like, hey, let's do a science project, and I'd be like, yeah, we'll do it later, and he never do one, right? And I was like, well, you're beating yourself with over something that you can't control now. So like now that you know what you did, like why don't you focus on how you could, you know, influence him? So yeah, it's little things like that, and I sure hope like the parents don't feel like that. But going back to the kids in Japan that clean the school, that would discipline a lot of kids, as setting examples to to help out the world.
Definitely. And because it's like if you care about like if you care about your room, you're gonna keep your room clean unless you're, you know, just a slob and really don't give a shit. but you know, you gotta. It's what's that saying? Tidiness is next to godliness.
Never heard that.
That's probably just like an old saying, and it's probably terribly racist now. I don't know. With the things that are going on nowadays, everything's racist. But yeah, that's something that I remember from watching from cartoons and just being there was always an episode in every single cartoon of keeping tidy and being clean and hygiene, and you know, everything has its place, you know. And that was the one thing my dad always told me too, was like everything has its place, and everything has a time and a place. That was the main thing that my dad always said. Everything has a time and a place. And garbage goes in the garbage can, and recycling goes in the blue can, and compost goes in the green can, bro.
Simple.
It is simple. It is simple. What's simple, okay? Especially here in my apartment complex, I feel like I'm the only one that recycles. We got a little ass tiny blue bin, and we got a big old trash bucket out there. I was like, why? Like, give me a recycling bin the same size of this dumpster, please. I feel like if there like people had a bigger blue dumpster recycling bin, they would recycle more.
Yeah, but people also don't really know how to recycle either. Like there's really like, oh man, because it's gone it's so much more advanced than what it used to be when we were kids. You know, it's still the whole reduce, reuse, recycle, but like recycling bins nowadays, like they're really particular in the city, and especially here in San Antonio. Like you can't put glass in there, I guess you can put glass in San Antonio, but my brother lives in Oregon. And glass from other recyclables. Like you can't put glass with plastic and what's it called, and paper and cardboard and all that stuff. So the glass is completely separate. And
That's how Washington is too.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a program that we could probably instill here in the city in San Antonio that could do that. Because here it's just the brown bin, the green bin, and the blue bin. And now, like in the green bin, you can put like paper waste, like paper food waste. Like if you use paper plates that had like a greasy pizza on it, you know, or a pizza box, you can throw it in that one, and it's considered compost. So I don't know if that will help anything, but there's a lot of people that are doing their own thing too. They're making their own compost, and I remember when I used to live in Mexico City, they always kept their organic trash separate from their inorganic trash. So it was like whatever it was, like plastics and stuff would go in one bag, and then like food waste would go in another bag, and it was two different containers that you would keep in your own home, you know, and they would separate it like that. And but I don't remember if there was a program where they would actually, like, one day would be, or the organic would be taken and then the inorganic would be taken one day, or if there was separate bins. I don't remember that part. I just remember separating my trash.
Ah, man. Yeah.
And it's just like you said, like just little things like that, dude. Just throwing your aluminum can in a recycling bin, or you know, take that little extra step to put your trash in the right receptacle, or don't put gum on the subway. Or just spit it out on the floor. That's, yeah, actually no, there's I saw a thing where like people spit gum on the floor and then it's hazardous to birds because they think it's grubs, and the poor little birdies eat it and they die. They choke and die. Well, someone think of the birdies.
Think of the birds.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's your karma. Like you got to think of all the karma that you put out there in the world. It's like, is spitting my gum going to cause somebody to have a really bad day by stepping in it, or B, a baby birdie's gonna die? Think about it, man. Think about the baby birdies. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Put a napkin and throw it in the trash, bro. Or
Well,
swallow it. Swallow it. It's gonna
I'm
be
gonna
in your stomach for like 7 years, but it's not gonna hurt nobody. It's not gonna hurt you. You'll be alright.
blow a bubble out of your butt. No.
Yay! They
Uh,
call her bubbles.
there's one time I was driving. This was my girlfriend at the time. We were in she lived in or she lives in California. I was driving and spit out my gum out the window. And she looks at
Wait,
me.
so it's your ex-girlfriend? Why don't we just say it's your ex-girlfriend? My girlfriend at the time. My ex-girlfriend.
Girlfriend sounds ugly.
Why you make it so complicated, bro?
Girlfriend sounds more. It doesn't sound like it.
Complex.
Yeah,
So my platonic
love,
ex-parent.
love and positivity here. My girlfriend at the time. I'm single. Anyways, my girlfriend at the time. Yeah, like I was driving and I spit my gum out the window. She just gave me like the deadliest look ever. She's like,
Oof.
and she's like, "Did you just do that?" And I was like,
That you're gonna get no sex in the champagne room look.
Yeah, I did. And she's like, "Why would you spit your gum out the window?" I was like, "Car's probably gonna run over." And she's like, "A bird could probably eat it." I was like, "Yeah,
Or a poor person with no shoes is gonna step on it, bruh.
no,
Dang.
go there."
It went there.
See, you gotta quantify. My mind just quantifies all these things, and I'm like, my karma is going to be positive from now on. And that's the other thing that you got to tell yourself too is choose right, choose the light. Choose to be not an asshole. How about that? Yeah, that's one thing that people need to realize, that choose
Don't be
not
an
to be
asshole.
And I hate that there's this thing going around on Instagram that says assholes live forever, and I'm just like, ugh, they do, don't they?
Yeah, they live a bitter life.
A long, bitter life.
That's the ultimate test for them.
I can live life.
And I would know because I work at a retirement home.
Yeah, and I bet you all of those people were like, at some point, big oil tycoons or something.
I learned a lot working at a nursing home and retirement home. I'm really happy that I did, because it was a lot of fun. But at the same time, like the residents always told me like their stories. And there's this one old lady, R.I.P. Her name's Josephine, and she always told me, "Smile. That's the greatest thing you can do." And she was almost gonna be 100 years old, and she said she lived like the greatest life ever. I wish I would have asked her more questions, but yeah, her one advice to me was to smile all the time. You got a
That's
really
a good
nice
one.
home, Remy. I was like, "Oh, stop! You're making me blush."
And you know what? That's a good thing too, because like it's like there's a lot of positive things about smiling, and there's a lot of, but you got to be careful about saying things like that nowadays. But smiling is actually, like, it takes, what do they say? It's like it's less muscles to smile than it is to frown, and also like when you smile, it like just even for a split second, like your whatever negativity you had is gone, because for that split second that you smile, even if it's a contrived smile, you're just like, you're trying, and it's just like for a little bit, like you're gonna make somebody laugh, and you're gonna laugh, and then and whatever that was bothering you is gonna be, it's gone. It wasn't even there, man. What were we even fighting about? I don't know.
That's a good lesson. Smile more. I'll make
But
the
you can't
world.
tell that to the females anymore, though. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna go that route. I don't want to get shot. Not tonight. No.
Oh, I was gonna ask you because Remy told me you journal, right?
Yeah, I like to just write down whatever thoughts I have, whether it be random, like if it's just like a quick little poem, or if it's something that I saw in a YouTube video, or just whatever it is, and the things that I read to, just like write it down. But I haven't really been journaling, just like as far as like daily things, like what I do throughout my day. I used to, but not as much anymore. Now it's just kind of like I'm in the flow of things.
Okay, because I'm trying to pick that up myself. I've always wanted to do it. I bought myself a journal. It honestly, like, I could totally, like, it's not in like time sequence or anything. It's like one
Mhm.
day, it's like a month after. So I'm trying to get myself into that habit of writing things down before I go to sleep or when I wake up.
Yeah, definitely getting into the habits. It takes a while to start forming good habits, but once you get into the swing of things, it's gets easier. You know, the journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. You know.
True.
I should get into
And I
it.
always remember that. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of. I watch a lot of stuff, and I find myself uh, reflecting on a lot of things that I've learned and I've seen on TV and shows that I've liked, and I'm just like, huh, that was a good lesson, and I've missed it, you know. And now that I've reflected upon it, I'm just like, now that I get it. Like there's one episode of BoJack Horseman where he gets the part to be Secretariat, and he decides he wants to be Secretariat. He starts thinking like Secretariat, so he starts jogging, and it's like the first day that he goes on a run. But this guy is like an alcoholic, smokes cigarettes daily, does all the drugs in the world, and he wants to be a runner, and he's just like taking a few steps and he's already out of breath, and this old baboon guy rolls around, and who's always jogging every day. In the morning, in the episodes, you always see this baboon guy running around, and he comes over to BoJack and he's just like, it gets easier, but you got to do it every day, you know. And it's and that's the thing, is like with anything, it's the conclusion that I've come to is effort equals happiness, you know. And it doesn't even matter what it is. Like you can put as much effort or as little effort, but you get what you put in. Like you say, I always tell people, you decide your own level of involvement. If you want to be involved in your life, you're gonna do everything 110%. If you don't want to be involved in your life, you're gonna half-ass everything, and you're not gonna be as happy. And you only have to yourself to blame. And there's a lot of people that blame outside sources, but in reality, it's you only have yourself to blame for the things that you are lacking, you know. And because I found myself wanting to do all these things and quantifying, and I was like, oh man, I don't have any time to do any things. And I'm just like, you know what, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, but I have to want it, and I have to put the effort towards it. And I've learned like 6 songs on guitar this COVID season, and
It's COVID.
yeah, I know. I've been calling it like this COVID season
Are
because I
you?
feel like I'm in waves. It's weird. It's gonna be pretty fun to watch all of this happen in my lifetime. Like I didn't expect any of this to happen in our lifetimes. Did you guys? Honestly, did you think of a
I
pandemic?
No.
I honestly I did. I've been trying to, like, realign myself for a while, and I've been
Nostradamus.
honestly, like, another thing too that I've actually, like, kind of called already was this. We just had an earthquake yesterday, I believe, over here.
Oh,
It wasn't that big. It was like a 4.8. But I've been telling I've been telling my mom and my dad, my sisters, like, hey, dude, we need to get on it. We need to get some water. We need to get some canned foods just in case if we get hit bad. I've been having this feeling that we're gonna get hit pretty frequently with unnatural things, or not. It would be natural things like earthquakes, hurricanes.
Hurricanes would be unnatural for California.
Well, I feel like the way the world's going right now, it's gonna start hitting California. It's already hitting Mexico pretty hard. Um, I think this world is trying to restart itself again, and
yeah, and it's honestly like it's almost, it feels like a culling, if you will, or it's like the only the strong will survive, and God's gonna sort everybody out. It's hard to think about, but sometimes I feel like that's what it is. You know, like the world is, Earth is coming back, and it's Mother Earth is coming back, and it's taking what it's rightfully hers. You know, and because we fucked it up, because we definitely fucked it up. But some of us are, some of us are trying on it. To be honest, let's be fair. To be fair,
We're trying.
Yeah,
trying, but
I've
we gotta
changed.
be more doer. But there's a doers, man. You gotta be more doers than do notters.
Yeah.
Like what it says.
Well,
Do or
that's one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why, like, I've really wanted this podcast to get big, because I want to be that difference. I'm going to be that difference.
We are
completely.
We are the difference.
Honestly, and and thank you guys for this opportunity, because I've been playing with the idea, like, ever since I've started my path again. It's been eye-opening, and I want to share all these things with people, and it's definitely eye-opening, and it's an experience that I want to share with people, that it's not all darkness. There is a silver lining, there is a rainbow over the hill. But you gotta want it. You really gotta want it. And like I said, the effort equals happiness. It could be the smallest task, like from, like you say, wanting to start journaling every day, to remembering to brush your teeth at night. Giving yourself the little things. It's the little things that count. It's everyone wants to focus on, like, the big wins, but focus on the little wins too. I didn't drink as much caffeine today, or
That goes back to last week's podcast, because I think I talked about that like a way to be more happy with yourself, and just like show happiness to everything, is like focus on your small successes. For example, like one thing that I really enjoy, and I can't, like, I'll have like a rough day if I don't do it, is make my bed. I always make my bed every morning, and even like when I finish it, I like flatten it out. I iron it down with my hand, and it looks so nice, and I'm like,
I know what you mean, man. So,
because it feels good to like make my bed, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna sleep the shit out of you.
yeah. I'm gonna ruffle your pillows so bad. Ooh, girl, I'm gonna hit you up. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I feel what you mean, man, because my parents are in the process of selling their house, and and we've been showing the house to people, so it's kind of like I have to keep everything like a white glove inspection, and honestly, it's been in the beginning, it was just like, it's such a pain in the ass. You just like but after you keep it up, you start picking up, like you say, pick up after yourself. Just put that little bit of effort of putting that one sock in the bin, or putting that one little piece of trash in your bin, or whatever it is, man. Just something, that little thing. It's little wins, bro. And look at me now. Like, my bed is made. My bed is like, look at this bed. It's beautiful. Well, not right now. There's a towel on it, but it's like made. The bed is made. The bed is made. I tucked it into the pillows. It's beautiful. Like, you would think that the queen slept there.
That was one thing why I actually messaged Eric. I was like, hey man, I got this friend. I really think it'd be cool if he like join on. Is it cool? And he's like, yeah. I was like, bro, he's on the same journey as us. He's like, how long has he been on this journey? I was like, well, it's been on and off, but he's been on it since COVID. I know he has. I would love to put him on here. I was like,
it's been
cool.
a ride. It's definitely been a bumpy ride since COVID. Well, because I went to jail before COVID. Before everything went down, I was in jail, unfortunately, for reasons I can't disclose at the moment because the case is ongoing. So it was unfortunate that it happened. It was an fortunate accident that happened. It was unfortunate that it had to happen, but fortunately, nobody was seriously injured, and I think more than anything, egos were hurt, and it's been a blessing to me because I have rediscovered who I really am. Like I was really lost in my relationships in the past. Like I would lose myself completely in these relationships, and I would forget like I am love. I'd fall in love with these girls and I would forget that I am love. Or I would fall in love with somebody's artistic abilities, and I'd forget that I am art. I forgot that I was art.
Yeah.
So, and that was one thing that helped me was being in jail and just realize, and being awake every night and just be like, is this the night that I die? Like, am I really gonna get am I gonna go fucked up tonight? Because like that's honestly what was happening through my mind. And I was sobering up because I drank a bottle of tequila to myself in one night, and it was not good. So yeah, there was just a lot of factors that made honestly, that it was my ego that was hurting, and I fucked it up by pursuing whatever my ego wanted, and those desires ended up hurting me in the end. And now it's like I say, it's a blessing because I still have things that I want and need, but I don't have desires as far as like the ego has desires. Like it wants to go and party and want to do all this stuff, but it's like, no, bro, you can't. Like you got stuff to do first. Like and you don't want that life anyway. You've already done the party life, and you've done everything that you could to be the worst version of yourself, and now maybe you should do something else. Maybe you should try not hurting people and leaving this place better than you found it.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Eric, is there a chakra that focuses on ego?
I believe so. Yeah. Let me check. I think that. So what was that again?
Was that focuses on ego, or is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. I thought you said on evil. I was like, I don't know.
Let me check real quick.
I think that would either be the third eye chakra, or your
Crown.
the sixth or the seventh, which would be the
throat, in the throat area.
The crown chakra. Because in Hinduism they have a dualistic version of ego and false ego. Like ego is basically like your true self, and then your false ego is is what we call ego in the West world. So it's like that's what I would imagine it to be.
Wait, the false ego is what we call ego?
Yeah, that's my interpretation of it. So it's like you have that the God is made up of the elements, because since we're talking about that, since you guys are the Alchemy brothers, it's the earth, air, fire, water, and then the ethos, or the spirit, or the mind, or the spirit, or the heart mind is what they call it in Buddhism. And then they also have false ego, false ego, and then the true self, or ego, false ego, and then true self, something like that. I can't remember. It's so 7 things that it's composed of what you're supposedly, or God is supposedly composed of.
A lot of in this country, a lot of false egos, and that's something people have to erase.
True.
This one's been fun. I've had a lot of fun this podcast.
Yeah.
This one's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really like what you guys are doing with this, and it's really making me want to start a thing of my own. But it's just going to be, I don't know. I think I'm going to stick around and see what you guys do, and it's been fun. It's been really fun. Because I started doing something with a friend of mine who's actually been my teacher as well as my friend. Sometimes he's a teacher, sometimes he's my friend, sometimes he's both. But he's we were starting to record a bunch of sessions of just like us talking and practicing and meditating together, and involving other people in our talks. And we were just recording the discussions and trying to find like a platform to do it on. And honestly, I think this is what you guys are doing is awesome. I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Glad you.
Is what I'm trying to say. And you have given me the courage through your actions. See, guys, you're doing good things.
That's our first one.
Oh, that's ego. Hold on.
Oh, this is one. I'll be your number one fan forever.
Yeah.
Well, for things. No, it's been fun, and I'm really happy that you were actually able to come, because I feel like I did learn a lot from you too. This one.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad I could integrate some things into your system.
Yeah, definitely.
No, and not in a gay way, unless you want it to be, you know.
Unless you're into that thing. We do not judge here.
Yes, we do not judge you. Not at all. No judgments. You do you, boo boo.
Model. Yeah, no, it's been fun. But with that ego chakra.
I believe it's the third one. They do say the second one, the sacral chakra, kind of hits that as well too. But I honestly think it's the third one, because that's kind of like when you kind of open up your third eye. It's more like when you start seeing your own ego and kind of catching it.
Yeah, there's solar plexus. The third one, right?
Yeah.
No, the third one's a solar plex.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's your strength of will and your willpower. That's where your willpower comes from. So that makes sense.
And I think you said too in the beginning that it kind of like around closed-minded too, or like small mind thinking or something like that.
Yeah, it's you're narrow-minded.
And it's like right there, like on
So you get a block there.
Right there. Right, like right on the beginning of your chest diaphragm area.
Yeah, it's like a little above the diaphragm, kind of the sternum.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
It was there. The best way to save the world is be that difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
be that difference.
To sum it up, honestly, yeah. Spread the love that you want to see, I guess. You know.
And just because you think one person can't change the world, change that. It's like you were saying, like the little things, it's what makes the ball keeps going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's one time I actually went on a run. And I think I kind of like screwed myself up in a way. But I was running and I passed by, and there's just like this tray of like empty tray of like it was used for food, but it was empty and it was just in the middle of the sidewalk. So I ran by. This guy was walking behind me, and I picked it up, right? And I was like, yeah, in my head, I was like, yeah, he just saw that, and now that's gonna make him pick up more trash. And then I just saw my surroundings, and it was just trash all over my. I was just like, now I kind of feel obligated to clean all this up. Well, I was like, no, I can't. I'm just gonna throw this away, and then I'm just like, So that's just a little funny story I remembered when talking about that earlier. But no, yeah, definitely. Just spread like what you want to see in the world, what you want to see in other people, and I think that.
And you'll also attract too. Like you'll find that a lot of more. Like I said, there's a lot more that we have in common than what we have in difference with each other. And I think you'll find a lot more people that have this mentality, this growth mind set, and yeah, it's like you said, it starts with one, and you'll end up with a bunch of people, and I think there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot more people that think the way that we think, and it's good. It's definitely good.
It's good.
But we just need a lot. We just need them to not be scared.
Yeah,
Choose love instead of fear. You know what I mean?
and I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people do think like how we thinking right now. Um, they're just kind of embarrassed to show it, or
Yeah, yeah, and that's because they think they're going to be judged, and
you are
honestly, that
like
they have to accept that they're going to be judged too, man. Like it's going to be like they're going to people are going to say, "Oh, you're crazy," you're a hippie, you're thinking like a like all this stuff. I was like, well, Jesus used to think about this stuff. The Buddha used to think about this stuff. The Hindus used to think about this stuff. You're telling me that religions around the world don't think about this stuff? Like it's if you read if you were to read all the religious texts in the world from like what's give me something with A, like I don't know,
580.
I don't know, to like all the way to like Zoroastrianism. It's all explains. It's a story that explains the mystery of life. I don't think of these things as like absolute. Like that's really great ways of like I love the poetry of the Bible, man. The Bible has got some really poetic stuff in it, and it's got some really like medieval stuff in it too. But that's just the way it's been interpreted throughout the years, and unfortunately, like I said, the word of God has been distributed amongst us by the word of mouth, and then finally somebody decided to write it down, and it's the same thing as in the Quran. It's in the same thing as it's in whatever religion that you think about. There's always either, whether it be like monotheistic or polytheistic. It's they all explain the one thing, the mystery of life, and it boils down to like be good to each other and be good to where you are, to the place where you live. Treat the earth like you would anything. Treat yourself.
Your body.
Your body, your mind. Your spirit. It's like the people knew about it all the way back then, and we just somewhere along the way we just fell asleep and forgot about it. Because we were more in tune with nature back then, and I honestly believe that we carry the DNA, our DNA carries the memories of our ancestors, and that's why some of us feel like more attuned to nature more than others. You know what I mean? Especially if you're like Native American or like Aztec or like something like that.
I'm reading Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
And yesterday I read this thing. I think it kind of lines up with what you're saying right now. He says here, the earth on which you live, you yourself, every other material thing are the result of evolutionary change, through which microscopic bits of matter have been organized and arranged in an ordinary fashion. So that was one thing I highlighted. And then it says, this earth, everyone, the billions of individual cells in your body, and every atom matter began with an intangible form of energy. So I think that kind of aligns with what you're saying. Cause yeah, like how you were saying, like Jesus thought like that. People thought, Buddha, all these like great avatars thought like this.
Yeah, I like that you said that.
And it's just you know, I guess it kind of goes back to how I said it earlier. Like you are the reflection of the respect you put onto your body. But I guess also we have to be the reflection of what we put into the earth. So
I agree.
Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share that, and I'm really happy that I read that yesterday, and I feel like it was kind of like able to
Yeah, totally.
put it together.
No, it did. It does. It does. I completely understand that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so man, this
I
one's
love
been
it.
fun.
Love
Yeah, I'm gonna share the shit out of this on like social media. Like, yo, go watch this podcast, yo.
it.
uh,
And I'll give you my gram tags.
man,
'Cause I
yeah,
think I've been using my Instagram a lot more than I ever have. Because there's just so much more that you can say with a picture and inspirational words that you can just I don't know. It's weird. I just find a lot more things on Instagram than I used to. But also, it's the mentality that I have now. Whereas before, like, it would be probably like something about like video games and which I still like play video games, and I play video games. I know you play video games, and I don't play them as much as I used to because I've found myself taking up my time with like reading or meditating or working out. Just cultivating myself, a little bit more rather than just spending a bunch of hours pumping experience points into a character that doesn't exist. Which is, oh my God, that's the life that we're living in right now. Isn't that what's going on right now around us? Holy shit. Did I just wake up from a simulation?
putting in points into your.
Are you a simulation? Are you a simulation too?
That was deep, bro. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm like, wow, is this real?
Hey, that's good, man. You have to be able to overpower your sleep because sometimes sleep, like you can sleep, you can. I feel like you can find a lot of more clarity through if you don't sleep. Like you don't have to sleep when you. I mean, I guess you use what the Buddha would say was like sleep when you're tired, eat when you're hungry. And when like if I'm not tired, I'm not gonna go to sleep. And honestly, like I'm running on like 5 hours of sleep right now. I'll sleep when I want to, when I need to, or if I know my body is gonna be exerted the next day, I'll be like, you know what, I should probably put a little bit more effort in sleeping today, which is not that hard for me to do, but it's a lot harder for me to get up early in the morning, because I'm trying to wake up a little bit earlier every day. I have a good habit of waking up at 8 a.m., but now I want to start waking up at like 6:30 in the morning. Waking up before sunrise and meditating while the sun comes up and being and experiencing that light grow within myself as it comes over the horizon. And just yeah, being thankful for the day that's about to begin and for letting me experience another day.
Cheers.
Well said. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I don't even know, like, just full of joy right now.
Good.
Oh no,
You
no.
did your job.
My
Uh,
job is I'll see you later. Out.
my
Mic
job.
drop.
Um, no, I understand where you're coming from because I've actually been telling Eric too. Um, well, I recently just started waking up at like 5:30 a.m. every Tuesday through Friday. I'm gonna be honest with you. Tuesday through Friday, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Cause Saturday, I wake up at 7:30, just cause it's the weekend. I feel like I deserve it.
Oh man. 7
Um,
a.m.
um, hey man, even this is like, it's not early, but it's not late, and I still get things done. And then like Sundays and Mondays, I usually like to sleep in because those are my days off. But I'm trying to like wake up more like at 8 a.m. on my days off as opposed to like 9 or 10 a.m. But yeah, like my days off or my days of work, Tuesday through Friday, I do wake up at like 5:30, and it feels really good, dude, because I feel like I have like more time to do a lot of things in my day. I go to the gym, I come home, I eat breakfast, I wash my dishes, I clean my house, and I just feel really good. and then have the rest of the time that I have before I do go into work to like read, draw, just listen to things. I don't watch TV. I recently, like I said, I sold my TV and my PS4 to just have more time to be able to do all this stuff. And
Yeah.
it feels amazing. Um,
Yeah, you start to realize like there's a lot more. You have more. There's other things that you could be doing, like than just entertaining yourself, and that's unfortunately that's like 85% of the people of the world. They don't want to think, man. They just want to be entertained. They want to be distracted from the reality of things. That's why people have all these addictions, sex addictions, drug addictions, alcoholism, you know. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just, it's a little bit of cocaine is a good thing. A lot of cocaine, probably not a good thing.
drugs.
I'm saying go do cocaine, guys. No, I'm just saying that because I don't do cocaine anymore. I don't do drugs. I'm high on life.
Snorting that thing called happiness.
Yeah, man, happiness, keeping that PMA, that positive mental attitude. But and then people are always like, oh, well, you can't always be positive, and then that's not the goal, man. The goal is not to always be like, I'm so happy all the time, to be just ridiculously happy all the time. I mean, it is to be happy, but you also got to be like, you know what? It's not so bad right now. I'm pretty good. I'm chilling. Things are okay.
Yeah, you accept the fact of how the reality is and just go with it.
Yeah, I think it's like the way they explain the yin and the yang. It's like they have the white within the black circle within the white, and it's like here's the good. Oh, it's like the white circle. Here's the good, and then here's the black circle, the bad, and then the white with the black is like here's the good within the bad, or here's the bad within the good, and then here's the good within the bad.
Yeah.
So it's all balance, man. You got to keep it's honestly it's being balanced.
I just read that like not too long ago, and I was just like, damn, that's insane. The way of describing the yin and yang.
Yeah, because and in layman's terms, you just gotta roll with the punches, man. Just be in the state of flow, You can't always be happy, and so you just gotta let the chips fall where they may, but also don't be like I used to be. Like it goes super dark because I used to have like the nihilistic mentality of like, we're all gonna die, it's all gonna end. This doesn't mean anything at all, so I might as well just do whatever the fuck I want to, which I ended up creating a lot of bad karma for myself and putting bad karma out there for others, which I'm still in the process of fixing the choices and the karma that I've made for myself. But when there's something to do, and when I feel like there's something to do and I can't do anything about it, that's just what it is. You got to be. That was one lesson I had to learn. That was difficult for me, is just to be still. And meditating taught me how to be still. And that's why a lot of people ask me, it's like, oh, like I don't know how to meditate because my mind keeps thinking about all these things. I'm like, that's fine. That's because your mind's supposed to think about these things. Like you're thinking about your dog, and people are trying to think of meditation as you're trying to quiet your mind, and it's this outrageous teenager that just needs to be chilled the fuck out and told shut the fuck up and told what to do. That's not what it is, man. It's like you gotta be in the state, like I said, be in the state of flow, and accept whatever arises, and not deny the things that have come into your thought, because that is you. You are your consciousness. You're but at the same time, you are not. What do the Hindus say? You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the consciousness that is in, and you are not a body that has a soul. You are a soul that has a body. You know what I mean? And that's really what like flipped my mind, is that and I feel like if psychedelics could work for somebody if they don't believe me, but I've always felt that experience through psychedelics, where like you feel that feeling of oneness with people where like, and you feel each other's energies and vibrations, and like you feel like somebody starts laughing in the corner, and then, or you look at your friend and all of a sudden you guys start laughing. It's because you guys are there with each other, you know. You're there in that oneness, sharing that experience with one another. And yeah, it's just being there. Yeah, being there where you are, being happy where you are and with what you got, you know. It is what it is, I think, is what my point was. I don't know. I went on a tangent.
That's big. No, that's good.
And I'm not even on drugs, people. This is drug free. Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple people tell me that I think weird and I'm crazy. I'm just like, good.
Yeah,
good.
that just means you're woke, buddy, and they're still asleep, and that's fine. Let them sleep for a little bit. They'll get it eventually. I don't judge nobody no more. And that was another hard lesson too. It was just like not judging people. Just like, oh yeah, well, I'm this way and you're not, and it's just like, what? That's not right. That's totally not cool of me.
No, yeah, that's something I think I've been learning too, how to stop judging. One thing I guess that kind of helped me was there's a video on YouTube. It's kind of like on bias. I think I'm gonna go a little off topic, but it was kind of like inspired by like the BLM. And it's like they show a video of this like this black guy walking with his son, and like how the looks he's getting. Oh, it's called The Look. It's called The Look. It's really kind of inspiring. I recommend that you watch it. It's called The Look. Where was I going with this? Oh, judging. Yeah. And,
yeah, judgment.
Yeah, and so yeah, The Look, and like people just look at him, you know, it's just like he's like, what is he doing here? You know, he's in the pool, and they're just giving him like this dirty look. And at the end of the video, it just kind of blows your mind. You don't expect like the ending to be the ending. It's really cool, and you know, it helped me like think. I was like, wow, you know, do I do that? Like, I sure hope I don't, and I think I have at times. Because there's like they get groups of people, they do a webcam chat, and it's just random people from different states. Like they get like this girl from California talking to like this, you know, this other person from like a different state, like Minnesota or whatever, and they just like they're webcamming and they're just talking, and they're just like, you know, I'm lesbian, like what are your thoughts on that? And then the woman, oh, you know, I don't agree with it, but if that's who you are, you know, I'll accept it. And it's kind of just focuses on your bias of like, don't be a biased person, you know, don't be, I guess in other terms, don't be a dick without knowing that you're being a dick. It's a good thing and to watch. I recommend that you guys watch it. I'll send you the links. But it helped me to not focus on judging people, and it just gives me a better understanding of where certain people are coming from with their,
you know, different, like I said, like as much as I want to believe that people are equal, you know, we are and we're not, you know. There's the paradox, you know, because we're all not the same, but we are the same, you know. But some people are stronger, some people are taller, some people are faster, some people are, you know, some people are good at this, some people are good at that, and that's another thing is that, you know, there's always somebody that's going to be a little bit better than you, and I have to accept that. And the only thing I can do is be better than I was yesterday, you know. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm not trying to be better than Eric. I'm not trying to be better than homeboy across the street. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Yeah, that's something I like to say too every day. I'm gonna be a better person today than I was yesterday. A more successful person today than I was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, man. Oh.
Good stuff, guys. This has been a really great day.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Well, I think I went over my.
Yep, 2 hours.
Second segment. We got 2 minutes or 1 minute now. This is part 2 already.
Oh, wow.
I guess we could just end it here. You guys have anything else before we close it?
Don't litter.
Don't litter.
Are you talking to my old self?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Remy. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to everybody. Don't
Everybody.
litter. Love your Mother Earth. Love your Mother Earth like you would your own mother.
Yeah.
Because we got one anyway. We only got one mother, and we only got one Mother Earth. So
True.
Treat it well.
Treat it well.
treat her like a lady, and she will treat you right.
I guess my thing, yeah, just be the reflection that you want to see in the world. Be the reflect. You are the reflection of the respect you put into yourself and the world. So be that. But other than that, I guess this is where we can end it, guys. Super fun, super excited. Until next week. Peace out.
Later.
Awesome. Awesome, guys.
That was a good one.
That was